Hello.
Now, 12 long hours before the sun will rise. Drive them back to darkness.
Ow. I'm alright. Like I said, I wanted to sleep in earlier, but cats and weather had different ideas. We had a snowstorm come through last night, which already aggravated my joints, so it made it hard to be comfortable. And then around 6, Mittens decided it would be a good idea to start walking across me. Tried to get back to sleep, but about 7:30 I just said screw it, got up. Hi! I take it you're at his place? I only got one model for Christmas. It was a small figure in a new range by Plamax that's 1/20th scale. And I got some gift cards and ordered the trailer for the Kenworth. Yeah, don't worry about it. You just moved across the country and you're still waiting on the other house to sell. I don't expect anything from you. So don't worry about it. That's why when you asked me if there's anything I wanted, I said nope. There really isn't. Hi, Mittens. Ow! Ah, that hurt. Ah. Yeah, but Jen got me 2 sets of Vallejo paints. One's metallics, and then another is, it says it's for skin tones and such, but it's got a lot of other useful things in it. And then a set of washes, too. Once I need to take a break from doing the paisley embroidery on this, we'll bust out the wash and see how it works on the arm. Mittens, what are you doing to my chair? It's already falling apart as it is. I need to get yet another new chair.
Tiny impulses of electric current are produced. Electric, 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 impulse, electric, 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 impulse, electric, 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 impulse, electric, electric, electric impulses are produced.
But the cat's got one of those clamshell donut things. Hi, Mittens. He's leaning. He's actually pinning me against the desk. What are you doing? Creep. Allie loves it. We put it out last night a bit early, and she was the first one in it.
Right now, we're inside a computer program.
Is it really so hard to believe? What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you feel, smell, and taste, real is simply electrical signals interpreted by the brain. Electric impulses. Electric. You've been living in a dream world here.
What, Mittens? You see him there? In the lower corner of the face cam? Just his little head poking up. Hey, little bud. Yeah, right there. Being a little pain in my back.
I watch you sleep. Your every sense is under my control. You are powerless. And you can do nothing to stop me. I can read your thoughts. I keep you up at night.
After I get caught up on the ritual casting figures, the ritual design now I think is what he goes by, I'll probably print out Eve from Stellar Blade and use that clear green resin. I've been trying to find other characters that have like clear green things to practice with, and I can't find anything.
I am your worst nightmare.
So did everybody remember to leave M60 ammo and old moldy burlap out for Rambo last night? Rambo is a Christmas movie.
I can read your thoughts. I keep you up at night. I am the terror in your dreams. I am the fear in your eyes.
Well, it is.
I am your worst nightmare.
There was a Christmas tree in the police station. and other things around the town.
You are never safe. I am your worst nightmare.
And Frankie's lost his crinkle under something again. I can hear him batting things around trying to get it. Well, I think I chose the wrong color. I used black-gray originally on this. Whoopsie! Just means I'll have to go back and tweak a few things is all. I used black-gray when now I'm using straight, just flat black. That's fine. What? What are you doing, Mittens, huh? He's sitting on the chair with his paws on the armrest. At least he was until I said something. Sorry, I just elbowed him in the head. You're okay, bud? Yeah. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or the microphone, but you can hear Frank off in the distance just fumbling around in a box looking for something. Mittens got down. Which means I can reposition myself and get a little more comfortable. So, yeah, I'm off today, work tomorrow, and then I'm off Friday. Why am I dinging? No, Solway's got me up on the big telly while he's cooking dinner. I guess it's taken a while for the oh, there, now it just propagated. Let that dry for a sec. I'll show you what the wife got me for Christmas. Well, the cool thing is these figures are 1/20th scale, so they go along with the Machine and Krieger stuff, but she picked this one out. And it's actually molded in all the separate colors. And the instructions for what they are also a poster of the character. So this ought to be a fun little throw together and paint one day. I think there's 5 in the range. I can't tell if this is supposed to be English or American, but there's one that's French, Russian, German, and Japanese. They all look like they're tank crew members of some kind. And I just picked up the wrong brush. Still gotta finish the front side over here. Just gotta find a convenient way to hold it. And crisis averted for Solway. He'll be able to finish his bird of prey, hopefully here in the next week. And watch, by the time the part gets to you, you'll find the one that's missing. Thank you for that. I bet you some kitty cat found it. Or it got trapped in your luggage and on the last trip and is actually back in the UK. Or possibly accidentally thrown out. What's sad is I think I scratch built the replacement for the part quicker than somebody could have 3D modeled it and printed it out. Almost done with the front side here. Sorry if the angles are odd, I'm having to hold it to where I can see easily. I need to see if I can find files for a good German World War II tank crew. Now that the Stug is painted. I started that thing about a year ago too. Not a little more. So is everybody just gonna take it easy? Yeah, take it easy this evening? None of my family lives close enough to go visit, so I'll be here all night. The wife's got to do a 4-hour shift at her work. Fortunately, she does remote work, so she doesn't have to leave or go anywhere, but she's still got to clock in. That's what happens when you work for a credit card company. They never close. Not really. You checking out the donut marbles? Yeah, the cats have one of those zip together donuts. I gotta find one of their beds and put it in the middle of it. Ow! And we're gonna take a couple seconds. And we're gonna pop open a chocolate orange. Only time of year I get to have one. Our local grocery store stocks them. Yeah. I like saving the little core for last. Yes, Merry Christmas to Soul and Nix. I'm glad his trip to the continent is ending on a better note than it started on. So, we're going to test out one of the game color washes from Vallejo. Just going with their black wash. Oh, if he's here, I'll let him fill in the details. See if it works like the Army Painter one did. Ooh. He can fill in the details, but the short version is shortly after he got here. Fortunately, he didn't get it, but the COVID monster paid the household a visit. But that cleared up weeks ago. Like I said, it's going along on a higher note than it started out on. It's settling pretty nicely. A little dark. I'll probably have to go back over these metal parts with their base color again. The Army Painter one settled a bit better. But we'll see what it does when it's fully dry. I'm also working on printing out another one of his older figures, the ritual design figures. I printed it out a few years back, never finished it, and it got damaged and shuffling around. So I am reprinting it now in the same scale as these. These are doing alright though. As I said, I'll have to go back over the original metal color, but not bad at all. I could probably thin it out a little bit, and it'll be fine. But I want to learn how to use them as is. And then once Jen's off work, we will start the roast and potatoes and all the other good stuff for dinner tonight. After I get the arm pieces done, I might thin it out just a little for the gun to see how it settles on that. I know it's not messing with the paint underneath because it's been cured for a few weeks now. Get a little bit of water. Just to see how much better it flows. A little bit, but not too much different. It does settle into the detail more. It doesn't sit on top. What's funny is the character's supposed to be steampunk, which is Victorian times or before that, right? You know, the time of Brunel. When did the Phillips head screw emerge? And I am just being sarcastic. I know it's just a fictional character thing. Hi, Mittens. Checking out the tube as well? Hi, boy. Hi. What are you doing over there, huh? Oh, Allie's in there protecting it. She just poked her head out like, who's coming near my hole? And I got Jen some diamond art stuff, so she was happy with that. Admit. You're leaning against me again, big boy. What's up? You really don't realize how warm a cat is until they get on you in a way that you can't move them easily. And yes, for those of you looking at the upskirt, the undies will be getting their stripe pattern too. Yeah, but Jen also got me a art supply kit for drawing. I don't know if she's hinting that I should try doing that again. Alright, no worries. I just figured I'd plop on for a little bit. This may not be my usual 3-hour stream either. You have a good one. I'll bother you later. If you're not passed out in a food coma. at least want to get through the embroidery on this skirt. You done wiggling around back there, Mittens? I'm trying to do something and you're kind of bumping me. Little bugger does weigh about 15 pounds. So, thank you for the resub. Very much appreciated. Again, I hope you and Nix and everybody else are having a good Christmas. And I hope your kitty cats are being more well behaved than mine are right now. I swear this embroidered texture is one of the coolest parts of the files for this model, and one of the more horrendous ones to paint. So are you going to be working on anything else besides the pickup truck while you're here, or just basically that and finishing the bird of prey? mittens. Good lord. Alright, give me a second. Come here. Well, you're being Mr. Needy right now, so you're gonna get some lap time. Yeah, there we go. Hi, big boy. I know, you just don't like being held. You're just a chunk, too. Yeah. There, now he's down. You can't go wrong with zinc chromate green. If I remember right, that's actually how it looked in the matte painting for when it was landed, and is the one green that didn't get desaturated by the color correction. And Star Trek 3 had some horrendous color grading. The color bleed on that film is disgusting. It makes the Federation ships look blue. Now Arnie's in the donut. Okay. Down a hair on my end because it's kind of loud. I know you're trying to stay with an on-screen look and not actual filming model look. Ares did manage to get a desk, so I'm glad he's getting restarted there. Hopefully he'll start to feel more productive in his hobby time, being able to actually do stuff. Let me know if you need any paints. I've got 2 Hobby Lobbies and a hobby shop, all within about 30 minutes of the house. So if you need Vallejo or Tamiya, I can get you either. I could even get you Games Workshop if you need it, because there is a wargaming store relatively close by. In other news, I had to order 2 new seat rails for the driver's side seat in the Camaro, because one was so far gone that it snapped when I tried setting it back. Right on the floor where it bolts down, the whole bracket snapped. It's right after I went to the burger bar the other night. Maybe it's my car's way of telling me I need to start being more active. It was actually already in pretty bad shape when I redid the carpet. Marbles. Now he's checking out the donut. They're all taking their turns. Hi, Marmar. None of them have discovered that the top is dished so they can lay in it. I might show Allie that later, see what she does. Ah, he's discovered its other use. It's a scratching post. Good boy. Once this is done, we'll start laying in the shadow color on the legs and the jacket. Or the vest, I should call it. Yeah, it is more of a vest. Well, I don't know. Vest-like. One odd thing I've noticed lately is a lot of companies seem to be trying to push a line of lacquer paints again. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. There's a couple of them out there now. There's Tamiya's doing it. What's that Australian brand that's starting to make waves here in the States? Can't remember the name. I'm sure it'll come to me when I finish the stream. One of the local shops here sells the Australian brand. Not too keen on trying them, to be honest. I used to be able to do some pretty crazy stuff with the old Testors enamels though, but having to relearn all that, I'll stick with my acrylics for now. Allie's back checking out the donut. And normally in the past I've done a New Year's night stream. I will not be doing that this year. Mainly because I've got to work New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Transmission terminated.
But I do get time and a half for working New Year's Day.
Give me that.
Alright, did I miss any major patterns on the paisley? Doesn't look that good. Awesome. Now I need to find my German dark brown. That's going to be fun. I have 2 of these that are full now. I'll probably need to buy a third. I'll need that. Need that. There we go. forgot how good the chocolate and the Terry's chocolate oranges are. There is a knockoff brand they sell here. We don't buy it. Not anymore anyway. Let's see if I can get a different mix of music going here. Work on laying in some of the shadow tones on her leggings. I do this rather crudely though. It'll all make sense once everything's done. The end result, though, is actually pretty good. And I've got an example of it on the exact same kind of leg right here. Come on, focus a little bit. And the top. Same character, different pose. So when I go back over with a leather brown, I'll be doing it from a more downward angle, which blends out a lot of the excess darker brown, and it feathers it in a bit more. Then I go over that with the highlight color, and it feathers it even more. Harder to pull off on larger figures like this, but I've been able to do it. Really easy to pull off on smaller figures if you're looking for a quicker way of doing it. A lot like dry brushing, but not dry. You're using a much wetter brush. Plus, I feel like it gives it a sharper and harder contrast, which I like. I was torn though. I almost, with the gift cards that I got, I almost bought another Grissom. Because I wouldn't mind lighting one, but I want to get some of the other lit projects that I've got out of the way first. I still have to finish Deep Space Nine and the Defiant, and then I've got to really get in on the Reliant. The Reliant's kind of acting like the refit now, where I'm just slowly pecking at it here and there until it gets to a, not a crisis point, but basically it snowballs and it gains enough momentum that I have to finish it. I can't just let it languish. That's kind of what the refit did. That, and I also kept forcing myself to work on it. I'm just trying to think if I'll be able to get the Reliant on stream. I know I did a little bit with the refit, but its saucer is smaller. A lot of this I could even do with washes and other glazing and things like that, but I don't know, I like how this method works on the leather. Shoe blocked in, or the other legging, whatever you'd call them. They're kind of combination. Chaps, I guess. I don't know. No, chaps don't have the footwear installed. This is where I have to be careful. You can see how I kind of didn't go all the way up to the leg on this area here. Kind of left myself a border. I'll be doing that here too, kind of. But I have to bring the shadow up to the skirt. I was careful the last time I did this, so I'll just have to be careful again. And her arm is going to be covering a substantial amount of it, so if I do screw up, hopefully it won't be too visible. Let's see. Be in shadows, so I'll try and give that a bit deeper down there. just hope Jen and I are able to move in the next 3 years or so like we planned. We've got some goals we want to accomplish that we just can't do here. Utah is not what it once was. And I'd still like to give a go at opening up a hobby shop too. That's always been part of the plan. Bit more restrained here. Still do some outlining. Mainly because I really don't want to have to repaint the shirt. hardest thing about the shop that I want to do, I think, aside from getting the customer traffic in the door, is the idea that I have. I want to try and take it from being what's considered a solitary hobby to something a bit more communal. Or at least more social. Because it's something I'm dealing with right now too. My brother is trying to get back into model building. He used to do it a very long time ago, but the hobby itself has radically changed since he did it. He hasn't done it. Yeah, he really hasn't built a model in like 40 years now. So in that time, the glues, paints, the way kits are designed, all that's changed. And he's trying to ask me all these questions, and he's like, well, what about this and that? And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, you can do these techniques, but you're not there yet. You're not ready for it yet. And I'm not trying to say it in a bad way, but he was asking me about pre-shading and post-shading, and I'm like, yeah, you can do that. It'll help your model look different and make some details stand out, but you don't even own an airbrush. So it's not as easily done as you would think. And airbrushes on their own aren't difficult. But if you've got no experience with one, it can be. I'm just trying to be, polite to him, saying start small, start simple, and go from there. But he's wanting to do a fully weathered out P47, and he's just, getting ahead of himself. I applaud his motivation, but I don't want him to get frustrated and drop the hobby before he fully gets back into it properly. That, and he's on the other side of the country, so it's hard to convey through text, like how to really go about that. Some wrinkles right in that area. I don't know, he'll figure it out. Plus my father only lives an hour away from him, and he's got a better foundation to help instruct him and, guide him in the right directions and all that. I'm still trying to remember if I went back over some of these areas with an oil wash and just kind of popped them a little bit more after I did it on the original figure. Like I guess I'll have to figure that out in due time. We'll let that dry for a minute, and while that's drying, we'll go back to the other arm. Yeah, I saw this painted in a way that suggested that it was all embroidered leather. Or not embroidered, but engraved leather and embossed leather. And it, I don't know, it works better as metal to me. And silver. This music's about to end. Let's get which one do I want? This one. I just have to be extremely careful where I'm doing my dry brushing so I don't have to repaint my gold. It's fine if I do. But I have to say the game wash lays down really nice. You just have to be mindful of how it acts because it does tint the surface a little bit more than, say, the Army Painter shader does.
I need this to survive.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to retouch some of the gold. That's alright. I'd have to anyway. The wash kind of dulled down the gold a little. But it settled in really well. Come on, autofocus. Something tells me that one of these companies is still trying to work on an acrylic wash that has properties of an oil wash, where you can remove and modify it a little bit after you apply it. You could almost do it with the Vallejo ones in the larger bottles, but they still kick off a little too quick and become a little too permanent. Much better there. Oh, I was working off camera. Sorry about that. Much more burnished effect here. Kind of what we're doing here is what we'll be doing on the legs to bring the base color back out and then the highlights. But with that, I have to let a few things dry. It's been about 2 hours, but I wasn't planning on being on too long today anyway. Figured it would be slow. But thought I'd give it a shot. But thanks everybody for hanging out. And thank you to Solway Studios for the resub. And hopefully I'm going to try and be back on tomorrow. If not, though, it'll be Friday. I'm off Friday. And, yeah. So everybody take it easy.